Hey guys, Zach here. Today I want to help you stop being afraid of recruiting. So if you're watching this, my guess is you probably have some level of fear of recruiting. It's okay. It's totally normal to feel that way. In fact, I felt scared of recruiting for a very long time when I first started in network marketing. But I want to help remove some of that fear. You know, it's probably not a skill issue at this stage in the game. You could have a skill issue with recruiting, and that does make you fearful if you don't feel equipped on how to recruit people. So I want you to go down below, look at the other links and videos that we have that can help you recruit, or even go to the MLMRebelsBlueprint.com and learn exactly how we recruit people automatically. And there's virtually zero fear involved when you recruit them automatically. But from a more traditional standpoint, assuming that you're talking to your prospects and things like that, why do you feel fear? Well, the reason that you probably feel fear is, number one, you feel fear of rejection. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is you actually don't have that much conviction in what you're doing. See, if you had full conviction that network marketing or your business was a good thing, when you bring it up to someone, you wouldn't have fear, you would have faith that you're doing the right thing for them. And if they turn it down, that's on them, that's not on you. See, when we bring our business up to someone, we don't put any pressure on ourselves to get them to say yes at all. In fact, we just basically find out, are you even a good prospect? So when I say something to basically initiate the business conversation with someone, if I'm going to say something along the lines of, hey, are you looking for an additional source of income? I'm not saying you say those words by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm just starting, that's my example phrase for right now. Are you looking for an additional source of income? If they say no to that, that no is not on me. Okay, that's on them. They're saying no to the business opportunity or to themselves actually doing anything extra with their life. They're not saying no to me. But also, I'm not putting the burden on myself of trying to get them to say yes. Okay? I'm not thinking that way. I'm saying, okay, once I ask you, hey, are you looking to make extra money? I'm taking the burden of that question and I'm placing it on them. And if they say no to that question, that's on them, that's not on me. So I know at that stage in the process, there was no additional skill that I could have put into that question. I'm not saying there was an additional skill before the question, but in that question itself, there is no additional skill needed. I'm placing the burden on them. Okay, so that's the first piece of this. The second piece of this is realizing what you've got your hands on. If you knew what you had your hands on, you probably wouldn't be that scared. We had a really cool experience. So when we kind of stopped traveling overseas, we came back to the States and we started traveling to different states to figure out where we wanted to live. And to be honest with you, we're still actually doing that, which is kind of cool. So we're traveling every month or two. We're going to a new house. Right now we're in Southern California. That's we're at an Airbnb right now, which is super cool. But since we've been doing some of this traveling, we actually spent about 4 months with one of the biggest upline in our company. We lived in his second house. And we got to see firsthand how he lived. What is it like to have a absolutely massive network marketing business where you built it that you could walk away from it? What is that like? Because we've got a good team, but our team is nowhere near the size of his. And so for 4 months, I got to literally live with this guy. Me and Ashley both. We lived with this guy and we get to see exactly how he lived. You know what's crazy? He's got a really strong income, and he has to do literally zero work to maintain his income. And his income is 10, 20 times bigger than the average American's. He's got to do zero. Now, I've seen some good network marketing residual incomes before, but never where there's zero involvement involved. He literally has right at about zero involvement. I saw him make maybe 2 prospect calls in the 4 months, and he didn't have to make them. He just was bored. And that was literally all he did. And when I saw that, I already had huge belief in network marketing, obviously. But when I saw that, I was like, wow, like that opened my mind. I had never seen that. I'd never seen that residual of income with my own 2 eyes that deeply, that closely. It's one thing if you see it from afar. It's another thing when you literally live with it. Now, I'm not advocating that you go live with your upline. But what I am saying is, what can you do? How can you pull the lifestyle that you're after into your own mind. Can you go spend a weekend with your upline that actually lives like that? Can you go talk to one of your big upline? What can you do to significantly raise your belief? Because if you can do that, man, you have almost full confidence when you talk to someone, and you're not fearful about recruiting at all because you know it's the best thing ever. At this point, if someone told me I was in a scam, like a pyramid scam, I would think they're the biggest idiot in the history of the world. At this point, we've been in the industry long enough to do the math every which way possible on a vast amount of comp plans in the industry. We know for an unequivocal fact that it is not anything close to a pyramid scam. In fact, the traditional corporate world represents a pyramid scam closer than an MLM business does, which is absolutely insane. And I know the results of this industry far better than a prospect. So you get to a point where there's zero fear at all. Because, dude, if you say no, number one, that's on you. But if you say something as stupid as that, like, by all means, keep your opinion. It's all good. So that's the second thing. Raise your belief. The last thing, or the third thing, is look at the rest of the world and ask yourself if you want that. And then ask yourself, do I want my prospect to have that? The rest of the world looks like this. The average household income in America today is $53,000. 53 grand. Do you know how much that is? I don't know how much you make, but 50 grand a year is like take home $2,500 a month. $2,500 a month is 50 grand a year. That sucks in many, many areas, okay? If you live in a metropolitan area, that is tough to live on. Now, if you live in a more rural area where rent is $500 a month, $600 a month, 50 grand a year might be okay. You live in a city of any kind, making 50K a year, you're like getting scraps. That is terrible. And that's the average household income in America today. That is really tough to live on, you guys. You know what else? And by the way, I'm not bashing any of that. If you make 50 grand a year or less, I'm not bashing that. I'm excited for you to be doing something to improve your current situation. I think it's amazing that you're doing that for yourself. Now, what else is there? Student loan debt. I think this average student loan debt is 40 grand. I think that's right. Now, I've got very close people to me. I'm not going to say how close they are. Very close people to me that have over 6 figures in student loan debt. Some even have almost $200,000, $180,000 in student loan debt. You know what the payment is on that? The minimum payment, where you're not even scraping the principal, you're only paying interest, is like $1,000 or $2,000 or $1,000, $1,200 a month. The interest on that, you're not even touching the principal, meaning you'll like never pay it off. $1,200 a month minimum. If you actually want to make a dent in that thing, you're talking like $1,500, $2,000 a month, and there's nothing you can do to forgive it. Nothing. You can't even file bankruptcy to forgive your student loan. So the average situation is massive student loan debt. Now the average is not 6 figures. The average is like 40 grand. So student loan debt, but that's still going to be like $600 a month payment if you're actually like making progress on it. So you're paying on a big student loan, and you're making $2,500 a month. If you make $2,500 a month, 50 grand a year, you have a $600 student loan payment. Let's say you pay $1,000 a month for your house, which I've never lived anywhere for $1,000 a month or less. Not because I'm cool, but because I've lived in metropolitan areas. I've made less than 50 grand, and I've never ever had rent less than $1,000. Never had less than $1,250. But let's just say you have $1,000 a month rent, highly unlikely. $1,000 a month rent. You have a $600 student loan payment. You have $900 left for the rest of your life. That includes insurance. That includes your car. That includes groceries, eating out, doing anything fun, investing in a business, investing in a side hustle. $900. What if you drove a base level car that you paid $18,000 for? That's a $300 a month payment. You're down to $600. What if there's 2 people in the family? What if you both have a car? That's $600 a month payment. By the way, that 50 grand number I gave you, 53 grand a year, that's average household income in the United States. So that's 2 cars. So let's say you have 2 base level cars, that's $600 a month. You have $300 left for your groceries, eating out, anything fun you want to do, Netflix, anything. That is the current situation, the average situation in the country. And by the way, we're a prosperous country. If you're listening to this from the United States, that's a prosperous situation. We've traveled a lot of different places, and a lot of people would love to have that. So consider ourselves blessed, number one. But number two is that's the average situation of the prospects you're talking to. Do you think they need something? Of course they need something. That's what they're living in. Do you have a solution? Yes. If you bring up your solution to them, do they at least have a shot now? Yeah, they've got a shot. Doesn't mean they're going to make it, but they've got a shot. If you don't bring it up to them, do they have a shot? They have no shot. So you literally could be throwing them a life vest. They're stuck in the middle of the ocean. They're flailing their arms. They're drowning. They're drowning in the ocean, barely keeping their head above water, and you throw them a life vest or a life ring. If they don't take it, is that on you or is that on them? That's on them. You can only do so much to help them take the life ring, like take the life vest. So realize the current situation of the world that we live in. Realize how good what you have is. You're literally on a boat with tons of people on a yacht in a sea of drowning people, and you have an unlimited supply of life rings that you can throw. Why would you not throw them? Why would you have any fear about throwing someone a life ring? Oh, what if they reject the life ring? They're drowning. What if they reject it? Who cares? They're drowning. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, hopefully this made sense to you guys. If you did find value in this, do me a favor. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. And also what I want you to do is, if you haven't figured out how we actually recruit people, we recruit people automatically through what we call an automated recruiting system. Now, this is how we spent 5 months in Bali, Chiang Mai, Kuala Lumpur, all these different places. And while we were there, we were literally recruiting people back here in the States personally while we were out there, and we never even talked to them until they got in our team. If you want to learn how to do that, go to MLMRebelsBlueprint.com, click the link down below, learn how we do that. And with that, hopefully have an amazing day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all in the next video.